Yiming is a doctoral candidate in the Department of Geographical Sciences at the University of Maryland. She's currently working on her PhD dissertation defense. So I think that we will have a PhD graduate this year, right, Yiming?
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
Good. So her presentation will be focusing on mapping of temporary roof in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. And also she will be like talking a little more about the methods that he used, uh, planet scope data. She will discuss her research on mapping temporary roof, and her goal is to provide insights that support sustainable urban development and help communities become more resilient to disasters. Before we begin, I'd like to share with you a few quick notes. This section will last around an hour, and she will be providing us a presentation that will take about 15 to 20 minutes. After the presentation, we are hoping to have like an informal conversation. So please feel free to join us and to share all your comments, ideas, thoughts, suggestions, questions, everything that comes to your mind. And now, without further ado, I'm excited to turn the floor to my colleague, Yiming. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yiming Zhang. I'm from the University of Maryland and plan to, as Leslie said, I plan to defend my thesis in 2 weeks. And thanks for the invitation from Professor Garcia and Leslie, and thanks for everyone joining this topic, during today's talk. Today I'm going to mainly discuss my recent research about mapping temporary blue roofs in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria using planet-scope images. This work is like mainly done by me, myself, and my advisor, Sergey Skakun from the Geog department, and Jordan Kalabawi from NASA Goddard, and Professor Garcia. This presentation earned the Outstanding Student Presentation Award in AGU 2023, and the manuscript now is under second round revision in universities. This is a QR code for like more information about the abstract. The motivation for this topic is like, as we all know, on September 20th, 2017, Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico and caused a lot of severe damages to constructions and transportations. Over 90% of the houses got affected. And at that time, the government, including FEMA, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, distributed a lot of blue tarps and temporary blue roofs to people awaiting their damaged house to be repaired. Those blue tarps are supposed to last for 30 days, but in reality, it lasts much longer than expected. So my research goal is to identify, map, and estimate the number of buildings with temporary blue roofs and how long they lasted before removed. I selected 5 cities in Puerto Rico as my research study area, including San Juan, Ponce, Coamo, Jayuya, and Mayagüez. This is the main framework I used for this research topic. First step, I downloaded all the daily time series PlanetScope images at 3-meter resolution from 2017 to 2019. And I also downloaded the OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap of Puerto Rico provided like all the building boundaries for every city. And then we designed the index, BRI, Blue Roof Index. We calculate the BRI for each PlanetScope images. And then we can get the time series BRI index plot for each boundary, like each building in OpenStreetMap. And then after this, we use mainly 2 filters to remove those non-blue roof pixels. One is cloud mask to remove all some cloud pixels, and one is random forest to remove those non-blue roofs pixels further. So finally, we got the time step of blue roofs installation, blue roof removal, as well as the blue roof duration map. This is a mainly map we got. This is an example in Ponce that we got maps of the blue tarp duration. And here I show an example for the house in Coamo. The yellow polygon is one house, and those two, if you can see my mouse, these two images are PlanetScope images, and these two rows of images are from Google Earth. They are Maxar images at 0.3 meter resolution. From the PlanetScope images, we can roughly see that the blue tarps lasted from the October 2017 until March 2019. And our result, the blue roof index, this is the time series blue roof index plot. Our result shows that the blue roofs lasted from October 2017 to March 2019. It's as similar as what we can see from the Google Earth images. This demonstrates our methodology is pretty accurate, but we still have some problems for cloud mask. The cloud mask of PlanetScope images is not so accurate enough to remove all those cloud pixels. This caused some uncertainties for our method. And here I show across 5 cities, we estimated the numbers of buildings with installed temporary blue roofs. The main conclusion from this table is like the estimated number of buildings with temporary roofs installation are between 4% to 10% across 5 cities, and the duration of temporary blue roofs substantially exceeded the design time of usage. They are designed to last for 30 days, but in reality, they lasted between 9 to 15 months. And we also want to explore the correlation between the blue roof duration and social economic factors. So we downloaded the CDC social vulnerability index, CDC SVI, and to plot these two graphs to analyze the estimated relative number of buildings with temporary blue roof installation depending on social vulnerability index, as well as the relative. Okay, sounds good. And then we also analyzed the average duration of blue roofs installation across different range of SVI. These two graphs show that with higher SVI means like higher social vulnerable community with here with higher SVI, the percentage of buildings with blue roof installation is higher. But for the duration, the average duration of blue roofs across different SVI range, it's similar. It's generally very high, like around 1 year. So we get the conclusion that socially vulnerable and low-income populations was the most susceptible to damage to their dwellings following Hurricane Maria in 2017. We also did some analysis based on the blue roof recovery ratio over time, as well as the installation ratio and removal ratio. From the blue roof recovery ratio over time, we can see that for the 5 cities, Ponce, Coamo, and Mayaguez, they have a pretty fast recovery rate from the initial 0 days to 250 days post the blue roof installation. And after that, the recovery ratio slowed down from the 250 days until 700 days. But for the city of San Juan and Hajuja, the blue roof recovery ratio kept kept consistently relatively low compared to other cities from 0 to 700 days. And for the blue roof installation ratio, by January 2018, we can see that across all 5 cities, over 80% of the blue roofs got installed. And for Mayaguez and Ponce, they even reached over 90% of the blue roof installation. For the removal ratio over time, we can get some conclusion that by here's January 2019, like to around May 2019, San Juan, Ponce, Coamo, and Mayagüez achieved 80% of the removal completion. But the Hajuja, this city, didn't attend their like 80% of the removal completion by September, around September 2019. And then I would like to show more about my fieldwork in this June. This fieldwork was funded by International Center for Innovation in Geospatial Analytics and Earth Observation at University of Maryland, as well as the 2023 BSOS Dean's Research Initiative of University of Maryland. I did this fieldwork in the past June, and I visited San Juan and Ponce. The survey locations mainly who previously had blue tarps, they were identified through derived maps and also validated through Google Earth. And finally, we got valid survey number 76 in San Juan and 77 in Ponce. The survey main questions include like the gender, the age, income, time step of installation of blue roofs, time step of removal of blue roofs, who helps the installation and removal of blue roofs, and about the main challenges. Here I will show some pictures and videos I got from the fieldwork. From the fieldwork, we saw that blue roofs are still existing or partially existing in Puerto Rico. It's 10 out of 153 surveys. This video shows one houses I visited. The room was totally damaged by Hurricane Maria, and the blue tarps are still from that time. But they don't have money to fix it, so they have to leave the room like this and then stay in the space covered by roofs. Even though the space covered by roofs, they still have the roof leaking problem. The situation is pretty stressed. And we also found that even though the blue tarps are not visible from the satellite images, they are not like totally fixed to permanent or concrete roofs. In reality, they are hidden under the corrugated metal roofs, which underestimating the bad housing situation by utilizing remote sensing images only. And here I showed the pictures and videos about unfixed roof interior. You can see the rotten floor, and people use the wooden plank as well as the tips to prevent from roof leaking problem. And there are also some cases that the second floor were totally abandoned because the second floor was damaged by Hurricane Maria, but they don't have money to fix it. They kept living in the first floor all the time, even though sometimes they even didn't have roof at all for the whole building. And for the reason, we think about the reasons behind this prolonged blue roof duration and the bad situation. First of all, the reasons is the authorized constructions, because the residents applying for the help from FEMA, they didn't have valid housing title, so they cannot prove this house belonged to them. This is one main reason their application got denied by FEMA, by the government. And also the elderly population, over 60% of my survey, the residents, their age are over 65 years old, and the low income level, over 80% of the residents surveyed, their annual income are under 10K. They survived by Social Security, as well as the lack of follow-up monitoring. A lot of residents I visited before, they mentioned the FEMA and the government come to help, but no one really follow up what's going on, and no one really helped them after the blue roof get installed. Lack of construction materials, not enough funding for relocating. Some people mentioned the FEMA provide them some financial support to relocate, but it's not like enough to relocate to other places. So they have to live in they have to keep living in those bad damaged houses. And shortage of labor source, shortage of labor force. Houses are densely packed. Roads are narrow and hard to reach. Those are pictures that I took in June 2024. We can see that the houses are densely packed. The roads are super narrow, and they give more like challenges for government to provide help. And houses are also next to rivers and oceans. This makes those houses are more vulnerable and risky for flooding. This is the one interesting like story I heard from the field work. This is the example of lack of materials. They don't have enough materials to fix a house, so they have to cut the top of the electricity pole and to put it over here to support the house. Yeah, I think that's the main information I would like to share today. Let me know if you have any questions or any comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yiming,
Thank you.
for your insightful presentation. I think that we do have a first question.
Sure,
Gabriela,
sure.
feel free to jump in, please.
Thank you.
I do have one question, Yiming.
Yeah,
I
go
know
ahead.
that you don't included the slide, but I do want to learn a little more about your experiences doing field work in Puerto Rico, more about what were the challenges, what
Yeah.
recommendations do you have on what was one of the strengths that you consider as part of your when you design your field work? As you mentioned, you incorporate local people, so I am very interested in listening and learning a little more about that.
Yeah, sure. The field work is a pretty like new experience for me. I like contact one Puerto Rican. He's also the one of my co-author, Jordan Calabawi. He's now working for NASA Goddard, and mainly like it's pretty for me it's pretty stressed situation to do field work in Puerto Rico because those areas which has blue roofs before or have blue tarps now are kind of like sketchy areas. And um, the first day of the field work, we ran into like drug dealers, and all the whole field work we were like barked by those like street dogs. That is because it's not so common for me to like experience this, so it's more like stressed for me to really like do this field work. But it's really nice experience for me. It's like I know how the like kind of limitations for using remote sensing images only. From the remote sensing images, when the blue tarps are not visible anymore, I will assume that they are already fixed. But in reality, when I did field work on the ground, I found that those blue tarps are just undercover the metal stuff, the corrugated roof. They're not really like fixed. They still have leaking problems. So many residents told us that they have the roof leaking problems all the time. It's yeah, it's pretty stressed. And some people ask us for help. I feel so bad because my help is very limited. I just like I really want to like collaborate with more people from other community, like to give more like help. But I think it's hard to really like fix the problem because it's so common thing. I mean the roof, the house problem, the housing problem is the real problem that in Puerto Rico, and it's need the correlation from different communities, from different parties to collaborate together to see how to fix it. Yeah, for the another question is like the fieldwork design. Because I already have the duration map and I have like high spatial resolution images from Google Earth, the MaxR images. And I'm more interested in what happened, why they lasted so long. And I want to know like what's the what's the correlation between the prolonged blue roof duration and the incoming and the like the age of local people, more like social and economic part. Like I want to know more reasons also behind the phenomena. So we mainly selected like uh, randomly through some samples and selected those houses already detected by the methodology and also validated by the Google Earth images. Yeah, if that answers your questions.
Thank you so much, Emin. We
Thank
do
you.
have another question. It's from
Sure.
Carlos Santos Riveras. He's
Mm-hmm.
asking you, in
Mm-hmm.
your results, where are this conceptualization of monitoring comes from, or unauthorized construction? Is this based out of existing literature?
The conceptualize of monitoring comes from, or where are this? Where authorities? If I understand that question rightly, is that asking the reason the unauthorized construction, or is historical reason, or sorry, can you explain more about this question?
Carlos, would you mind explaining more your question? Also, in the meantime, we do have another question
Sure.
from Gabriela. She's asking, how can your methods be applied in other places, cases?
Yeah, that is also one of my future work. Because not only in Puerto Rico, in Florida, in Louisiana, we still can see like after hurricane happened, the blue tarps were installed, and the blue tarps kept like lasting for over half a year. So that is one of my future work. I would like to explore more about what happened behind this phenomenon, like the duration, the installation of the blue tarps, the removal of the blue tarps, like to assess how efficient and effective the government to react to these disasters. How do you come to this?
Um, Carlos answered us. He's saying that just more about how do you can about choosing that concept in terms of the monitoring and unauthorized construction.
Yeah, because there are not so many literature, like English literature, at least for me to like know more about the reasons behind. I read some papers and materials from Dr. Garcia before, and she mentioned a lot about the unauthorized construction, and it's a historical problem. It's like a long time ago, from my understanding is a long time ago, like the government tried to increase the urbanization. So a lot of people went to the urban area. They moved from the rural area to urban area. But the urban area, the employment center and the industrial center, they don't really have the houses to accommodate them. So they have to like illegally to take some houses, and they didn't have like the valid titles for those houses. And from my experience in the field work, the houses like was heritage from their like grandma or like their relatives, but their relatives uh died, like passed away and didn't give them titles. That is also one reason that they cannot provide their valid housing title to apply for the help from FEMA.
This is very interesting that you're mentioning this
Hmm.
on, and it's a very sensitive
Hmm.
topic on like technically in Puerto Rico it's very like complicated to say that those constrictions were illegal because technically the government supported them and the government didn't have the capacity to provide that houses. So that kind of situation invites you to ask the question about, is that illegal, or is just that people were like trying to self-build their communities because at that moment the government didn't have the was not providing the support, and like technically was also promoting those informal constructions. So it's a very like, it's like another topic if we go through that. But Carlos, do you have any other questions regarding that? Do you would you like to add something?
I think, sorry, I think for me, it's like illegal probably is more about if you cannot provide valid or um like title or document to the government. I think informal is also like the appropriate way, more appropriate way to say those houses.
Yes, it's a more acceptable term.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, Imin.
Thank you. So looking this.
Carlos also is suggesting that you can try to look at existing literature
Hmm.
using the keyword informal reconstruction in Puerto Rico and look at the report from Taller Salud and Hispanic Federation about the conceptualization of unauthorized construction, historical data about land and rights to the city. Some sector of the island will even use the term reclamando terrenos, reclaiming land, all in response of colonialism and the current neoliberal status in the island.
Yeah, this is also one like comment we got from reviewers when we submit this manuscript. They want us to include more like historical problem, the colonialism, those perspectives. But I feel like for my research topic, the main part is to utilize the remote sensing images to facilitate with post-disaster management. And we also include some reasons like uh, I think this is really nice material, but for my paper, I personally don't want it to involve to like political stuff. And uh, I think yeah, I will check the materials for sure. And um, I discussed with Professor Garcia before. We kind of like discussed how to state the story in a like narrative way, not too like sensitive to make the top not to make the topic is too sensitive, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you so
Mhm.
much, Emin. I really appreciate that. This is a very interesting conversation, and I really value that. Um, um, that you're sharing all this insight with us. And I think that also Carlos says that he's very open to help you in any way that he can with providing any resources. Also, myself, I am very open on sharing some resources. I used to work in the communities of the Caño Martín Peña, so there are
Oh,
some resources that I believe that could be very useful for you as well. I know that you're narrowing this part as part of your dissertation, so I'm so happy, and I will be more than happy also to be of help to you.
thank you so much. I feel like if we can get more like data to no matter validate our methodology or like provide a new perspective for prolonged blue roofs, it will be very like beneficial to this whole community, like to get this situation like under on the table to let more people know this is a super stressed situation. Carlos said, like after 7 years, I'm really shocked when I did field work in Puerto Rico. Like
Yeah.
imagine after so many years, people still live in such a stressed situation. Like most of the houses I visited are like kind of old people. They have their like kids in the mainland of US, but not keep them a company. And they can only survive from like social security, and they don't know how to use cell phones, and how can they get help from the government.
Mm.
Some of them ask us to leave the contact or something, but like the help from the person is too limited. The help needs to like from the government, from the community.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like yeah, for sure this research needs to like how say dig into more and to get like a how say this like visible more for the society. And I hope this manuscript can be published soon, and so we can like just spread this information to the society that this is a still stressed situation. We should do something.
Yes. Also, I do want um to ask you something about that. And do you have like an plan to disseminate this information in Puerto Rico with the stakeholders or something like that?
With the stakeholder.
Yeah, like with the housing department and the people who have been like working specifically with the recovery funds. I feel like these tools and this information can be very like insightful for them.
Yeah, we hope this paper can be done published soon, so I can share the paper with like the um media, the social media, like the Washington Post or New York Times, so can get it more like on the table. And for the communities, for sure, I need help for that part because I didn't have really like a lot of connection with local stakehold. So I need help for that part for sure. I hope this can be like help on the ground, not only like just to say it and didn't follow up. It's like they this should be the monitoring system. It should be like monitored all the time, not only because now when I check this literature review or some papers, they are more like in situ interview or in situ survey, but it's very limited because it's if it is a small area, it's fine, but it's across the whole island, it's better to use like remote sensing images, so it's like can cover large area. And for the walk-in survey, it's time consuming, it's not so efficient, and it's money consuming. It's not the best way to help from my perspective. But the institute survey for sure is very important because as I said, like the remote sensing images itself has limitations. The institute survey can help us to really know what happened in the on the ground. So I think combine the remote sensing technology and the in-situ survey, like combine the technical part and the human dimension part, will make the whole how say this, the whole task more deliverable and more efficient.
Efficient. Totally agree. I totally agree with you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I think that Dr. Ivis is here. Ivis, do you have any question for Emin?
Oh, hello. How you doing?
I'm
Evening.
good. I'm good.
Great to see you again. Well, I wanted to just go to what like Leslie was saying in terms of like sharing the information.
Mhm.
I think it'd be nice to send it to nonprofits in
Mhm.
Puerto Rico that are doing this work. And something when the paper is published, maybe I can just like do like a one pager and just like put it in Spanish and then just like share it that way and also offer, I don't know if some other groups would like to hear about it.
That would be awesome.
We could potentially do something in where we could translate or just like do it in a way that that again, just whatever people might see
Yeah, for sure.
as an opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even, in like just like local news, that might be another way besides the you mentioning the Washington Post, for instance, right? But
Yeah,
maybe looking into local news as well. That
sure,
could be something to call attention to this.
sure. Because I only have a friend in Washington Post, so that is the only way I can.
Don't worry.
Yeah, for sure. Because the remote sensing images, it's like in time. It's in time. Like real time captured the images from the whole island. So I can definitely get the images and detected the blue tarps right now to see what kind of blue tarps are still there, and to like for nonprofit organizations, they can target on those like more intense blue roof areas and just go there for help.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Jane, really. And also I think that something just popped up in my mind, like this tool, I don't know how like feasible is to create like a community workshop to show them how to use this tool. Is that something that you see that could be practical, like feasible?
It can be. But now for me, it is more like experimental tool now. It's like I just put the Python code over there. But if I want to make it the interface like to share with local people, probably needs more work, but it's for sure doable. And it will be I think it will be very beneficial for the whole follow-up process.
And that can be another research too.
There'll be another several years for my research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any other comment, question?
I had a question. It's just more curiosity. How often is the data? How old was the data, or when did you get the data from that tool, and how often they update it? I mean, the images.
Yeah, for the images, they like it's provided daily images, and it's pretty fast for them to proceed the images. But for us, the main problem is the algorithm they used are not so good. So we still have like cloud masking problem. We still have co-registration, like the images between different dates, they have some shift, those kind of issues. So we prefer to proceed all those uh image processing by ourselves. So that will take some time, but it's not so time consuming, I would say. If we already have the algorithm and we just put the data over there and we run it, and we can get better images, more clear images, and to detect the whole blue recovery process. But the images are not free because my advisor had some funding from there. So we downloaded it through projects.